What is up guys, Casey here, and in this episode I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up email authentication for our social media app. To get started, let's head over to Xcode, Shift Command in. It's going to create a new project for us. The name of this is going to be Social App. Okay, Swift is good, Universal, click Next. Click Create. Once everything's loaded, let's head over to internet and let's go to console.firebase.google.com and create a new project. Okay, this one's going to be called Social. Once we're in there, let's go to authentication and set up sign-in method. For this application, we're just going to do email and password. So click enable and then save. You have to click save. And then let's head back to overview and add Firebase to your iOS app. Let's go back over to our application and copy the bundle identifier and paste that in the bundle ID. Nickname, don't need that. Don't need the App Store ID until you publish it. So it gave me a configuration file, so let's click continue. Okay, so let's head over to our Finder, downloads, and okay, so if you have two, you have to delete one and then rename the new one so you don't have that 2 at the end. And once you do that, just drag it over to your project and make sure Add to Targets is selected and click Finish. Okay, so it's in our application. Now let's go to our terminal, CD into your projects folder. Say pod init. Okay. If you do not have Cocoapods installed, you need to go to Cocoapods.org, or I'll leave a link in the description that you can just click on and it gives you the instructions on how to install it. Once we got this, let's go to our projects folder and there's a little pod file. Let's open that up and copy this code right here in the Firebase console. Now head over to the pod file and underneath pods for social app, paste in pod firebase/core and say Command S. And then go back to the terminal and say pod install. Now head back over to the project, Xcode project, and exit out. Make sure you exit out and reopen it, but this time you'll see a white application in your project folder. So open that one, use that one from now on. Okay, so when we're in here, we need to, actually let's head back to firebase.com and click continue. And make sure you click Swift and copy fireapp.configure. Copy that. Let's head to our appdelegate.swift and import Firebase. Okay, and right here above return true, paste fireapp.configure and Command S to save. If you say Command V to build it, you can make sure that everything's working and you've installed everything properly. Once it has built properly, head back to main.storyboard and we're going to start creating the layout for our social media app's login screen. Let's just get 2 UI text fields, drag them on. Okay, so let's add a placeholder. This is going to be email, and then center the text. So let's say email, and we want this to be a rounded one, yes. Color, we don't want black. Let's make it a blue for right now. We'll change it later. We'll make all the graphics look good here in a little bit. Okay, so now let's duplicate that. And let's change the placeholder to password. Click enter. So now we got our 2 text fields. Now we just need a button. This is going to be our sign in button, so whenever somebody presses this, they of course sign in. Okay, let's change the text to sign in. Sign in, or it can also be sign up, because if it's a new user, we have to create a user. So sign up. Okay, I don't think, yeah, we're gonna have to edit some classes to give the button rounded corners. But other than that, let's just make this look nice. Let's change the view's background color. We can put in a hex value. Just paste it in there. This hex value is 4990E2. Okay, that's the color I picked. You can pick, of course, whatever color you wish. And then on the button, let's change the background color of that to A3C9F6. Just click enter and it will go in. And let's change the text color to white. Let's change the fonts. Let's change the font of this one to custom, and then just type in A, Avenir Next. Let's change that text to, let's change it to demi bold. And let's make this, constrain it to 50 for the height. And then of course, make the text bigger so people can see it. It looks good. And let's just pin it to the sides. And 77 from the bottom, that's fine. We also want to make these password and email fields, let's change their height, set a height of 50 on them as well. Let's pin the password 50 from the sign up. Okay, and 0 from the sides. Okay. And right here, this little rewind thing, it's update frames. If you tap that, it will update what the frames look like. Okay, and let's pin this one, 8's fine. 8 from the other one. And also update. So there we go. Password and email field. We can also change the text on both of these to Avenir Next. So font is going to be custom. Family is going to be Avenir Next. Let's just do medium. That looks better. Yeah. And then let's just add a label. Let's make everything look good. Color's going to be white. Let's go to the font custom. Avenir Next again. You can pick whatever fonts you want. And it's going to be demi bold as well. Just make this bigger. It's not going to say label, it's going to say social app. Awesome. Just stretch this across. Let's make this big. Center the font as well. Maybe we can change this to bold. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. So let's pin that. Change this to 12. So it's all even and 80 from the top, and give it a fixed height. And update the frames. Okay, sweet. That is good for the sign in page, but we also need to, once the user signs in, we need a page for the user to go to add their profile image and all of that stuff. And this is going to have a button. Button's going to say plus. Let's just do a plus photo. Okay, let's just make this square. So for user to add their photo, And I say the height and width can be 80. Okay, so just click enter there for right now. And then we're gonna need to add 2 text fields. This text field's placeholder should say username. Just click enter, center the text, and then actually, yeah, we'll need 1. Yeah, because the user will give us our email here, give us the password they want there, then they'll give us their username they want there, and they'll upload their photo for their profile there. Okay. And then we just need a button, I guess. UI button. The button's going to be 50 for the height. Okay. And then let's just pin it 80 from the bottom. It's fine with me. Oh, we also need to pin it to the sides. Okay. And then the username. Let's pull both of these down. Put them wherever you like, it doesn't matter. Let's pin this one to the sides and 80 from the photo upload is okay. And let's give it a fixed height of 50. Now the photo needs to be constrained to the top. Let's change this to 130. I just like rounding up the numbers. Yes, that's good. And then let's click alignment and let's align it horizontally in the container. And update. Then update again. So this button's looking a little small to me. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so over on the ruler, we can actually go down to specifications and let's say 100. Oh well, 100 by 100. Okay, and then update. Oh, accidentally clicked 0. 100 by 100. I'm liking that a little more. Now let's change the background to that nice blue that we had previously. Background. The hex value is 4990E2. Click enter. Sweet. And now on the button, let's give it a white background. And then let's change the text color to the background color because that looks nice. Okay. And let's change that font. The font will be custom. Avenir next. Medium. Medium looks good. And 20 for, actually, 18 is pretty good for font size. Then on, here, let's, we had, just trying to get the plus. Okay, I guess it's not going to work. So then on the username, let's change its color to the nice blue as well. Paste. And The placeholder is going to be username, yes. Let's change that. Let's change the font to custom, Avenir next, and then this one is going to be medium as well, and 18, 18 looks pretty good. Finally, on the button, we need to change the background to white, change the font, custom, Avenir, 18, change that to medium. Done, and change the text color to the background color. Okay. So there we are done for right now. Let's take this view controller, click on the view controller right here, and right click and drag to the next view controller and say show. So now click on this little identifier, and we're going to say sign up. That's going to be the unique identifier. Okay? So whenever we tap this button and we need to sign up, we just perform a segue, sign up, not sing up. We just perform a segue to sign up, and it will perform that segue. Okay, so now that we have that, we just need another view controller, and this view controller is going to be our feed with all the social media posts. Let's just drag a UI view. This view's background color is going to be the same as the rest of the application to keep the theme. Let's add a label. Okay, actually let's constrain this view really quick. 0, 0, 0, give it height, add 4 constraints. The label, we are going to name this social app. Okay, color is going to be white. It's going to be white. And let's change the font to Avenir next as well. Center that. The style will be bold. Bold looks good. Let's say font size 30 is pretty good. Horizontal in container, and then let's just constrain it to the top of the container, bottom of the container. We are good there, just click update. And now we're gonna have to import some assets that I've created. You can get these, I'll provide a link in the description to get the assets so you can import them into your application. Okay, so I have the assets right here on my desktop. Let's just, and let's click on assets over here and just click and drag these assets in here. Drop, there were assets in, and then same on these, select those, just drag them over. They are in. Now in our main storyboard, we are going to need to make a UI image. Actually, let's just do a button. Okay. And let's delete the text. Click enter. And the image is going to be photo. I think that's what I named it. Well, you can just click this drop down. Camera. That's what I named it. Okay. So you can make this editable to whatever size you want. It may look distorted. I'm just going to leave it at that size. It looks pretty good to me. Does it look good? Yeah, that looks good. I will. Alright, so let's actually set the height and width 41 to 31. Oh, really close actually. That's its actual height and width. and then let's pin it 25 from the side, add one, and then let's align it vertically in the container. And update. Okay, that looks good. And then let's add one more button. This time, let's delete the text, and the image is going to be the door. So this is when somebody signs out. Okay. And this one is going to be 17 by 41. Okay, and those. Pin it 20 from the side, or 30 is fine, I guess, because it's smaller. And then vertically in the container. What is it missing? Oh, did I accidentally put it in the stack view? Oh, I did. Let's pull it out of the stack view and then delete the stack view. I didn't mean to put it in the stack view. I meant to align it vertically in the container. So what's the constraints? Okay, pin this 30. Okay, we're good. Now that we got those all squared away. And then now we just need to add a UI table view. Okay. Always leave a little space on the top, but then when I pin it, I do 0 on all the sides. Okay, and then update that. And then we're gonna need a UI table view cell. Just drag that and drop it on. So let's head back over to our view controller. And in here, let's import Firebase. Let's create a IB outlet. And this is IB, oh, actually action, IB action, boom. This is going to be when a user signs in, so sign in. When they press the sign button, I guess I should say. Sender is going to be any. Okay. And within this code, we need to say, okay, we need to create IB outlets first. IB, oh, at IB outlet, okay. Week, var, email field. Of UI text field. Okay. And then at IB outlet, week, var, password field. It's going to be type UI text field as well. Alright, so down here, so if, let's just say if let email equals email field dot text, and then comma, let password equal password field dot text. So basically, if the email field has text and the password field has text, then perform this code, okay? And we're also storing that information in these two variables, email and password, okay? So now we just need to say FIR off FIR off dot off, okay? And then we say sign in. So I forgot, we need to, let's just install all the pods that we need right now. So let's go back to our pod file and copy the pod we have and just paste it. And paste it. Oh. Enter paste. Okay. So we need, instead of core, say auth for authorization. Then we need database. Okay. And then we're also going to need storage to store the images of people's accounts. Just say Command S, and then let's head back to our pod file and say pod install. Well, sorry, head back to the terminal and say pod install. Once it's finished indexing, password, and then comma completion, and then this is going to be user comma error in if error is equal to nil. So if there is no error, then let's say if the user if there is a user, okay, let's say self dot user UID equals user dot UID. Let's build it and see if it works. Right, I just have to var user UID type strip. Alright, that's all we have to do there. Like I said, Cocoapods is just messing up. No reason for the error. Just wants to be like that. See? Builds perfectly. I don't get it, but it's Cocoapods. Or it's let's say go to create user VC, I guess. Oh, perform. Segue. Okay, sender's gonna be nil, I know that. So we need to head back to our main storyboard. And this little segue right here, we need to click on that and then copy the identifier. Yours may be different, that's totally fine. But then paste that right here. Say Command S. And then down here we can say self dot go to create user VC. Command S. Okay, so now let's create a new function. This is going to be prepare for segue. And then if segue dot identifier equals, paste that there. So if we are going to the sign up view controller, then run this code. And then also if our user UID, so we're passing the user's UID to the next segue. So if the user's UID is not equal to nil, so if we have one, we don't want to be getting any crashes. So if it's not equal to nil, let's say destination dot user UID equals user UID. So now we need to create a new file new, or we'll right click social app folder and click new, Cocoa Touch class, click next. This can be UI view controller. And let's just call this create user VC. Or I guess we can say user VC. You can name whatever you want. Just click next. And then make sure targets is selected and click create. Let's drag this up here. Okay, so on user VC, we just need to create a variable called was it user UID? Forgot already. User UID. So user UID. That's gonna be of type string. Okay. Now, if we save that, go back to our view controller. This error should go away. I forgot to just define our destination. If let destination equals segue dot identifier destination as user VC should be it, and then just add one of these. Command curly brace. We'll get that back over there. Now see the error is no longer there because on our user VC we have that variable, so we'll be storing that information in this variable when we perform the segment. All right, sweet. So now we just need our email field and our password field. Okay, and these are also going to be being passed over, so Command S. So if email field is dot text, we can do that, dot text is not equal to nil, destination dot email field equals email field dot text. Okay, and then we're also going to do that for our password field. If password field dot text is not equal to nil, destination dot password field equals email or password field, sorry, dot text. Voila, so now we're getting our email and our password over onto the next screen. Okay, let's build this. See if we have any errors. Okay, so we have no errors. Like I said, just Cocoapods. That's why I have this right here, because it did say succeeded. So it's working, we know it's working. Now let's just, so if the error is not nil, let's just say goat. Okay, we probably should put this on. It's gonna ask us, I think. So let's just put it anyways. Save that. Now I think this should work. So let's just test it out for right now. So let's just type in our email. Let's say, haha, me.com. Our password's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we need to connect this stuff up. Completely forgot. So let's head over to our main.storyboard. We can stop that running. And on this view controller, we right click on the view controller and sign in tab. Click the little plus and drag it into sign in tab and say touch up inside. And then it's going to say email field. Click and drag to the email field, let go. Password field, drag to the password field, let go. Okay, so we're good there. Command. Okay, so let's enter our email. At me.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sign in. Okay, so it did come to this because we don't have an account. Now let's just finish that. So I'm just going to add a user because right now we don't have it set up for creating a user. That will be in the next video. But we need to add a user so we can test that the user signs in. Okay, so let's click add user. Email will be at me.com. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add user. Okay, So we have one user. Okay. And let's double check this code real quick. Okay, so let's change this code up here. We don't want to go to create a user if there already is a user. So let's create a function, and let's call this go to feed, okay? And or feed VC. Okay. And let's say perform segue with identifier. Now let's go back to our storyboard and let's copy that identifier. Okay, oh, we haven't even created one. So let's right click and drag from the view controller to the social feed view controller and click show. Okay, and then let's create an identifier to feed. You can name it whatever you want. Copy that. And then let's paste that in here for the identifier. Save that. And then instead of go to create user VC, go to feed VC. Okay, and save that. And let's run it. So let's say, let's test out a fake email. Okay, so if it's a fake email, it takes us straight to the create user page, okay? Now, we need to create a back button there so we don't have to keep replaying it. We'll do that in the next video as well. But let's double check ha@me.com. Okay, so ha@me.com. Sweet. So if we do have a user, you're a previous user, takes you straight to the feed VC. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, please leave a like below, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I answer all of those. Right here will be the link to the next episode, and right here will be the subscribe button. Tap to notify you when the next video is out. See you in the next video.